What is up, everybody? I am Get Flanked, and I am really enjoying playing Flores. And you might be thinking to yourself, well, big deal. Get Flanked usually enjoys every new operator that comes into the game, and that is true for the most part. I'll admit it. I mean, anytime I get to play a new operator in Rainbow Six Siege that has new mechanics, it's fun, at least for a while. And sometimes that fun sticks around, and sometimes that fun wears off over time. But I think Flores is an exception here. I think that I'm having more fun with Flores than I normally do, and I would say probably the most fun I've had with an operator since Ace. And in all honesty, it's probably more fun to play Flores than Ace. I mean, Ace was fun because he was so strong, and I could see like immediately how useful he was going to be. Flores is both useful and fun. And that's important to mention because there's a lot of operators that have come into the game and been fun immediately. I would throw Oryx in there, Amaru in there. But as fun as Amaru is to play, and as fun as she's always been to play, a lot of people haven't found her to be that useful. And I can make that argument all day. I might have a video coming because I think actually Amaru right now is in a really strong place now that she has the Gon 6. And that's a video for down the road. But when Amaru was originally introduced, she was fun to play, but not that useful. I think that Flores falls into that fun to play and useful category, and that's like the best place for an operator to be. And it's probably a big reason why I could definitely see myself being a Flores main next season. But I don't think I'm alone in that thought process. I think there's a lot of people that are going to gravitate toward Flores, and I'm going to say right now, I think that Flores will have a pretty big impact on the meta almost immediately. And in this video, I'm going to make the case for why. To start out here in making my case, I think I want to show you a clip. This is from a recent stream where I was using Flores in the test server, and you're going to see me clear utility pretty effectively with him without ever setting a foot inside the map. So here you go. I got to figure out exactly where to put this thing. I got to stop going on that desk. Okay, yeah. What am I doing? This is so easy. Right there. That should get both of... Yeah, shock wire off of both walls, and we can now hard breach. Here we can do it over here too for attic. This is actually super easy. I think I'll have enough time. But you don't even have to jump it on any... Well, actually, I think you have to jump it on the wall here. Yeah, there's all four. Gone. Okay, so as you can see there, I was able to open the way for a hard breacher that we don't have on our team to open both master bedroom and attic wall without ever setting foot in the map. I was able to get all 4 bandit charges off of those 2 walls. Now, granted, I wasted a lot of time there. I realized that you could do that a lot faster, and it wasn't necessarily ideal. I was really just doing that to show the stream how easy it was. Keep that in mind. But I think that's very useful, and I think it will be useful immediately, especially when you take into account that Thatcher is one of the most popular bans. Now, I know my Ashe mains are out there saying, yeah, well, I could go and do that exact same thing that you did right there in half the time just by going underneath both of those walls and shooting up an Ashe breach charge. And that is true. But keep in mind that with that is some risk of roamers taking you out on your way there. I was able to do that from outside of the map, okay? And I don't think that can be said too much. I mean, being able to remove that utility with 0 risk is huge. Now, before we get into the rest of the topic, I do want to let you know this video is sponsored by FanFit Gaming. FanFit Gaming has a ton of officially licensed Siege merchandise, from pins to lights to coffee mugs to apparels. You can check it all out on their website. There's a link in the description. You can use code FLANKED for 10% off. Thank you so much, FanFit Gaming, for sponsoring this video. So with Flores, I feel like we finally have a real Thatcher alternative in the game. And I know Callie has been in the game for a while, and I've talked about this a lot. You guys are going to think that I hate Callie. I don't hate Callie. I think that Callie's gadget is really beautifully designed. I just think that with her weapon selection and having a bolt action sniper, a lot of people just don't enjoy bringing her and don't want to bring a Thatcher alternative that they don't feel like they can get kills effectively with. So let's move on to the next clip now, which is another Flores clip, and I'll just let this play in the background as we're talking, but you're going to see it's a Flores ace. There's nothing that I do that's too crazy with his utility here. I just have my gun up and I kill all 5 people in the lobby. And again, this is in a test server. I'm not trying to say this is some amazing gameplay or anything like that, but I think it shows that being able to bring Flores and being able to clear utility, as well as feeling comfortable being able to get kills, that's going to appeal to a lot of people and make him a lot more popular right off the get-go than what Callie is or was. Now, bringing it back to that Thatcher alternative conversation, I could make the argument that in some ways, Flores' drone will be more capable than what Thatcher's EMP is. You think about removing those bandit charges with Flores' drone, they're gone. I destroyed them. With Thatcher's EMP now, those would go offline for a bit and then come back. So that's one aspect. The other thing I would say is after I removed all 4 of those bandit charges, I still have 2 more drones left. And whereas Thatcher is really strong at removing electronics, he's helpless against a deployable shield. With Flores, I still have 2 more drones that can take out a deployable shield or a castle barricade or something like that. Maybe an evil eye. So much more capability there. Now, I do have to mention that there are ways to shut down Flores' drone a little bit easier than Thatcher's EMP. That would include like a mute jammer or Mozzie. The fact that any defender can shoot it if they see it, that's something to consider as well. So in a lot of situations, getting rid of a Flores drone or denying it will be easier than an EMP grenade. But if we see, Mozzie or Mute's pick rate increase in order to deal with Flores, that is affecting the meta. It's an indirect effect to the meta. And so any of those ripple effects should count in Flores' corner as well. Now, I'm not saying that, Mozzie isn't already meta or that Mute isn't. I mean, both of those operators are already picked to a certain degree. But if people feel the need to bring them even more because of that, that limits the other operators they can bring on the fence. And again, those are ripple effects that are being caused by Flores' introduction. Another ripple effect I could see from Flores' introduction is the ban phase changing in ranked and what those bans look like. Right now, we all know Thatcher is a really popular ban. So knowing that people will be able to bring Flores as an alternative to Thatcher, will you possibly see them ban Thatcher less? Will it be map dependent? There might be some maps, for example, in Oregon right there, where, a Flores ban is better than a Thatcher ban, or where you don't see either of them banned because if you ban the Thatcher, they're just going to bring a Flores, and vice versa. Now, it could be that there's other maps where Flores has a harder time getting to the utility, and you might see the Thatcher ban still be very prevalent there. You might not see the Thatcher ban affected at all. Maybe people just love banning Thatcher and they're not going to go away from it. But I think it's definitely possible that people are going to kind of rethink this ban phase, and people who would normally ban Thatcher might be thinking about something else because they know that banning Thatcher isn't really going to make opening this wall any harder. All right, so far I have talked a lot about Flores' utility and how that is going to inject him into the meta, but that's not enough to make him really popular for all players. I think that any operator that they introduce that brings a lot of utility is going to be picked quite often amongst the sweatiest of sweaty players and at the high levels. But in order for an operator to be picked at all levels of play, I think that they kind of have to check a couple of different boxes. They need to be useful and they need to be fun. And that kind of goes back to what I was talking about earlier with that ace clip. Not only do I feel capable with Flores and that I can clear utility and that I can use his gun to actually get kills, but I actually enjoy using his drone too. And I think that there is a really good chance that you're going to see some people gravitate towards Flores in a similar way that you kind of see Valkyrie mains. So, I talk a lot of smack about Valkyrie. You guys know that I'm not a big fan of her, but I have a ton of respect for Valkyrie mains because most of them have taken the time to learn camera placements, learn how to exploit them, and play around them. And I respect that a lot. And I can see Flores mains kind of be the same, knowing how to hop their drone up on a certain ledge in order to clear certain utility, or how to steer their drone, or how to get it past a mute jammer here, and knowing the explosion radius is long enough or big enough to take utility out from this spot. All that stuff is going to take some time to learn. And I think that when people take the time to learn an operator and get rewarded like that, they're much more likely to play them more often and become a Flores main, if that makes sense. And that really touches on a different aspect of Flores that I really enjoy. And that is that I think that he's going to make sense to newer players or, lower skilled players, and also has a high ceiling for very skilled players to learn and improve with. And that's always a good recipe as well. You love seeing utility and gadgets come into the game that reward people who, get good with them, study them, and try to innovate with them. And I think Flores checks that box for me. All right, guys. So at the end of the day, I do expect Flores to be popular and to have an effect on the meta in Crimson Heist. I think that he's going to be one of those operators that you do see picked a good bit right off the get-go, and I'm happy for it. I like it. I like it when operators come into the game and have an effect. I think it's good for the game. I think it's good for the player base, and that's the way I like to see it. I also don't feel like Flores is oppressive, though. I mean, maybe we'll see in game how it plays out. It could turn out to present some problems that I'm not seeing yet, but so far, I don't think that he necessarily feels that way. So we'll keep an eye on it. I guess you guys can probably tell here, I'm excited about Flores. I can't wait for him to come into the game. I can't wait for Crimson Heist to go live. Let me know what you think. Are you somebody you could see playing a lot with Flores? Is he, kind of checking those boxes for you? Let me know all that stuff down in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure that you like and subscribe, and I'll have more coming your way here soon.